started in the wrong link, but got it sorted. Let's get the chat up, and I guess I better get Mr. Milligan back in. Wrong one. That one. Where are you? There you're there. Right, Mr. Milligan should be joining us shortly, and I guess I better get Facebook sorted out. Ah, there he's there. Forgot about that, didn't we, David?
That's it.
Sorted.
Don't do that again.
No, naughty boy, I'm on the naughty step. Anyway,
Hi, guys. With that busy blaring, we forgot about the woman changing the links so we could both come on. Oh, there's a lot of people joined us there, really, really quick.
There'll be some jumping back and forth between links. Right, that's Facebook public, so we should get Facebookers in shortly. Take up. Start to bar.
It's on, we're live.
Anyway, sorry about the slight delay there, folks. What happened was we went live on in the green room where we hadn't actually moved to the link where we streamed from. So that's the explanation for the stupidity that just happened.
And besides the fact that one of us here doesn't sleep ever.
Well, anyway, hi boys, naughty step for you two. Aye, Melanie, we're on the naughty step. How are you? Mental. Hi, Jane's in and all. Anyway, David, we'll just let the numbers climb. Yep. I'll just remind people, 12 o'clock, Christmas Day, the Indie Truck Davies special, where we'll just talk about whatever you want to talk about, and if you want to come on live, I'll send you a link, and you can come on live, and we can have a chat. So, that's just a wee reminder, 12 o'clock, Christmas Day, the special with the Dragon and I, and we'll just shoot the breeze. All right. Now, we're up there the 100 mark, David. So let's get this underway. And hold on a minute. It's the two Davies on the 7th of the 12th
of 2023.
We've got hopefully an interesting show for you today, and we're kicking off with the trials and tribulations of the salmon versus sturgeon battle. Yeah. Which I've absolutely no idea what it's all about, but let's have a look. Judges throw out bid to withhold Nicola Sturgeon inquiry evidence. And this is the inquiry into Nicola Sturgeon being accused of misleading the Parliament and breaking the ministerial code. Now, judges have thrown out a bid by the Scottish Government to prevent the publication of details about an inquiry into whether Miss Sturgeon broke the ministerial code. Ministers insisted they did not hold the information after receiving a Freedom of Information request. The Court of Session in Edinburgh rejected this argument. It sided with the Information Commissioner, which said it was a wholly unrealistic position to believe that the administration didn't hold that information. The government must now reconsider the Freedom of Information request made by a member of the public. The case relates to the inquiry into the independent advisor on ministerial code, Irish lawyer James Hamilton. Now, folks, if we remember back in 2021, Miss Sturgeon referred herself to the parliamentary body on breaching a ministerial code, and an independent inquiry was launched, and that independent inquiry was led by an Irish lawyer, James Hamilton, a senior Irish lawyer to the south of Ireland, I believe, James Hamilton. Anyway, now James Hamilton, when he submitted his final report, he was a bit annoyed that what was issued to ministers and to the public had been redacted. And there was a wee stooshy about that back at the time. Anyway, it all relates to this carry on in the aftermath of the harassment allegations made against Mr. Salmon. Mr. Salmon has been cleared of sexual assault charges in criminal trial. Anyway, Mr. Hamilton, he cleared Nicola Sturgeon of breaching the ministerial code, but a member of the public later submitted a freedom of information to ask the Scottish Government to publish all evidence gathered by Mr. Hamilton. The government rejected the request because it said it did not find the information, did not hold that information. Speaking at an appeal to the Information Commissioner. So basically, the government tell the Information Commissioner, we don't hold this information. And anyway, so this has ended up at the Court of Session. The Court of Session have said, that's ridiculous. You do hold this information. The Scottish Government tried to claim that the information was solely the property of James Hamilton, and that the person looking for that information should go and ask James Hamilton for it, which seems a perfectly sensible suggestion. If this intellectual property is the intellectual property of James Hamilton, then the right place to go asking for it is James Hamilton. But the court has said, no, it's on Scottish Government computers, and release it. So this could get interesting. But the question we've all got to ask ourselves, and this is the question David and I have been asking ourselves, is why? What's the point?
No, the point is that Alex Salmon wants 3 million. He wants 3 million slipping in his pocket. That's what it is. That's what's at stake here. And as far as I'm concerned, if Nicola Sturgeon has got nothing to blooming hide as far as that's concerned, just give him the information, get it done, get it away. We don't. What we don't need is we don't need this blooming dragging out. That's what Salmon wants. Salmon wants it dragging out. Well, blooming shut him up. Just give him the information and let's get it done. Because
it wasn't Alex Salmon that was asking for the information. It was related to the Alex Salmon case. It was a member of the public. Now, one of the things that members of the public generally don't understand is the restrictions set upon requests for freedom of information. If this stuff is the intellectual property of somebody else but stored on a Scottish Government computer, then does it belong to the public or does it belong to James Hamilton? After all, it's still his intellectual property.
The question of intellectual property.
The Court of Sessions has ruled that saying that it was solely his property, his intellectual property, Disney couldn't because it's on a government computer. So the government should revisit the Freedom of Information request.
Okay. I think the question we'll get to much later on in the programme is what constitutes intellectual property? What constitutes your own personal information that other people are entitled to get? And that's what this comes down to. And you're quite right on that. However, as far as I'm concerned, just get short of the information. If Nicola Sturgeon has got nothing to hide, just get it passed over.
That's the point. It's got nothing to do with Nicola Sturgeon.
David, hold on. What I'm saying is, contact the guy in Ireland and say, can we have that information? And if he goes, yeah, fine, right. And then it gets passed back to the Scottish Government. They can go, there's the information. So
that's the whole point. This is the point I'm trying to make about the public no understanding procedure.
I don't give a shit about procedure as far as that's concerned.
I mean, when you're making a request for information, make sure that you know that information is being held and should be accessible to the public. Now, if this member of the public, they haven't named them, had understood a wee bit about procedure, he would have asked Mr. Hamilton first if he could ask the Scottish Government to release his work. We're talking about procedures that shackle the actual information system and freedom of information system. We talk about the system, the procedures that protect people's data here. And this data belongs to this James Hamilton.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, we know fine well where this is going. It's to try and embarrass Nicola Sturgeon and do another SNP bad story, right? And what I'm saying is, if there's nothing to hide, contact the Beak, get the information, and hand it over as quickly as possible. Because the longer you leave it in Alex Salmon's hands, the more time he will go, oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I'm causing loads of women's douches here.
No, I'm not interested at all. Thanks very much, Patricia. I'm interested in the fact that the Scottish Government has ruled that this guy's intellectual property, because it's on a Scottish Government computer, should be handed over to a member of the public.
Right. All right. Okay. At the end of the day, to me, it's...
Thank you very much, Patricia. The point is, David, I mean, you were just talking about that's a protection of intellectual property and protecting the data of an individual. Well, and these things have all got to be taken into account. But what the Court of Sessions just said is, because it's on a government computer, release the data.
But the government are saying, we don't hold the actual ownership of that data.
Yes, that's correct.
And they're saying it's this guy in Ireland.
Right,
okay, they did the inquiry. So it's his property. So contact the guy, make a phone call, whatever you've got to do, and get him to hand it back across to the Scottish Government with his moniker on it, and then hand it to where it's got to go. I know. That's it.
As I say, that's the point. This is the argument in the case, right? And as I say, what I was saying is sometimes when members of the public are making requests for information, they don't understand the limitations that put on the Freedom of Information Officer.
Do you think that the member of the public was something to do with Alba, possibly?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to get into a station. The press are making a big deal out of this, and Nicola Sturgeon's name's all over the headline when it's got nothing to do with it.
Okay.
This information is the property of James Hamilton.
If you remember, the reason for the inquiry was all to do with diaries and timings of when Nicola Sturgeon was approached by Alex Salmond. Yes.
Yes.
And she said one thing, he said another thing, and what happened was eventually Nicola Sturgeon said, look...
The accusations of misleading the Parliament. So she then had to refer herself to the Parliamentary Committee on breaking the Ministerial Code.
What happened?
An inquiry was launched, yes.
And what the guy did was he came back and he said, she's got nothing to answer for. It's dead clear that what she's saying is dead right. She did not mislead Parliament. End of, right? However...
But Mr. Hamilton himself said that the report that was given to ministers was redacted.
So what?
But here's the other thing. Actually, what should be in the public realm is the report produced by Mr. Hamilton. No, his background work, that's his.
Yeah.
And that's what this argument's about, the background work.
Yeah. Ask him to hand it over. If he doesn't, fine, well, you're not getting it.
This shouldn't even make the papers. This is just civil service, trying to protect civil service procedures.
You're missing the point. It's Alex Salmond.
I think it's better to do with SNP bad, actually. Because in this particular case, the information might be used in the Alex Salmond argument. But at this particular point in time, it wasn't Alex Salmond that asked for it or a member of his legal team.
Okay. All right.
It was a member of the public, and I don't know who the member of the public is, so I don't know what their political affiliations are.
Right. Okay.
So I don't want to go down a road where I'm saying it's got nothing to do with Alec or Miss Sturgeon. This is going to do with a freedom of information request from a member of the public.
Right. Okay.
And it's douchey between the Scottish Government and the Freedom of Information Commissioner. Right. I'd like, see, when it comes to stuff like this, see, we remain really, really factual, then people can actually get to the heart of what it is. And the heart of what this is a member of the public asked the Freedom of Information Officer to release Mr. Hamilton's workings. The Freedom of Information Officer approached the Scottish Government. The Scottish Government said, no, this is the property of Mr. Hamilton. The member of the public then kicked up the stairs to the Commissioner for Information. The Commissioner for Information took a different point of view and said release it. The Scottish Government said no. The Commissioner then took the Scottish Government to court. the Scottish Government's defence was, this is Mr Hamilton's property, intellectual property. And the Commissioner's argument was it was on public software. So
Can we move on?
it's public. The three judges decided, without even retiring, that it's on a public computer.
David, can we move on? You've lost them. They're discussing something else entirely. All right, come on.
Aye.
Starmer, what's happening there?
He's
coming to Scotland. So what's happening to him?
He is visiting Glasgow today to go to a Labour winter fundraiser at the Crown Plaza Hotel, and the Stop the War Coalition Scotland is calling on all affiliate associations and those who wish to attend to protest Starmer's abhorrent stance on the massacre in Gaza. They also call on so-called Labour leaders in Scotland, Anna Sarwar, to join the protest, because he is already gone against Starmer on this one. Mr. E, thank you very much. Naughty step for you. Naughty step for me. No need for the candle. Best keep it for all the coming crisis and impending doom. Anyway, at 6 o'clock tonight, this fundraiser goes on at the Plaza, and the Stop the War Coalition Scotland is called on the trade unions, Labour members, Anas Sarwar himself to come out and protest Keir Starmer's stance on the situation of what they're calling Israel's war on Hamas. But whether they'll get a good turnout in this weather, David, what do you think?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I've just walked back to the house, and it's only like 20 yards from my cabin back to the house. I was soaked. Oh dear! And I was telling the crew before we came online that that's the repair to my roof. It's like it's puddling with water again. So what it's like for these people that's going to that woman Crown Plaza Hotel. Right. So
somebody's getting a boot in the boot when you're doing this there.
That was indoors telling me that she's going back out again. Right.
Right. Okay. So as we know, we're going to talk more about Gaza at the end, David, but I hope the protest is a big one. I hope it also puts our people going to the Labour fundraiser, because remember, this is to fund the Labour campaign here in Scotland.
Thanks, Alistair.
Thanks, mate.
Blooming heck, Liz Shields, £100. Hi guys, made Christmas cards and sold them in my wee town of Gourock. This was raised through donations. That's wonderful, Liz. Wow. And Alistair Kerr, £10 funds for the baby bank.
Thanks, Alistair.
That's Liz, that's wonderful. Right, okay. Yeah, you're quite right in terms of Labour. Starmer's going to get blooming, want of a better word, crucified in Scotland over his stance with Palestine and Gaza. He's talked about a pause. Well, Mr. Starmer, you've had your pause, and now Israel's are back to carpet bombing these poor people in Gaza.
What, they've moved to the south of Gaza?
Yes, I know that.
Tell the people who leave the north now, they've left the north. The Israelis have started bombing the south.
The diplomat for Israel, for the UK, she was on TV the other day there, and she was on about an area that's it's near the beach, right, where they can go and it's quite safe. And it was on Sky, and yeah, the Sky have actually got a couple of quite good reporters that are out with, if you like, they're always out and about, right? And they showed you the area. They actually took a film of the area, and it was just blooming sand dunes. There was no tents. There was no water facilities. There was no food facilities, anything like that. It was just a bunch of sand dunes, and that's what Israel. That's what this Israeli diplomat to the UK, was telling Sky News that was where the people should go, and it's quite safe and all the rest of it, right?
I bet you've mined it already. Right, let's move on. First Minister slams Sunak's Rwanda treaty as repugnant. Anyway, the Rwanda treaty has been signed, and this leads to chaos in the Tory party, David, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we were talking about on Monday, not so cleverly was there getting a new treaty signed. The object of this treaty is to try and pacify the Supreme Court and say that Rwanda is now a safe place to be. Right? Anyway, that leads to Jenrick, after seeing the new treaty, resigning, saying it doesn't go far enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that also leads to a money shuffle by Sunak, and that money shuffle sees the Minister for Immigration's job split in two.
Yep.
Now, there's now a Minister for Legal Migration, and that'll be Tom Pursglove. And there will now be a Minister for Illegal Immigration. And that's the previous Solicitor General for England and Wales. This is nuts, David, this Rwanda policy thing.
The thing is, Sunak came on the TV the day at 11 o'clock doing his press conference, and almost the first thing out of his mouth was, Rwanda, I accept the Supreme Court that Rwanda was not safe. Well, now we've brought forth this legislation that's going to be released next week that Rwanda is now safe. So in other words, I have in my hand a piece of paper, which was remember that was the Second World War. Remember it, yeah? Well, this one here, Rwanda is safe, and I've got up here an article that's on France 24. You can put it up if you want to. Right? I'm not going to run the video. Don't need to.
David.
Anthony Blinken urges calm as fighting displaces millions. We're not talking about a few hundred or a few thousand. We're talking about millions of people being displaced in Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, that's an ongoing fight. It's been going for a long time, that one.
So therefore, for Sunak to say that Rwanda is safe, what a load of shite. Well,
anyway, everybody's up to push out of this new treaty because it's a worse deal than the last deal. Yeah. Takes some 14 million more quid a year money to grease the wheels for this one. Right?
Yeah, the foreign minister. What's his name? What did you get? Dr. Vincent. What?
Dr. Vincent Baruta.
Baruta. He's the man with the biggest smile in the world because he's got 15 million fucking reasons to be cheerful. In a brown envelope. Eh? The fucking big brown envelope, isn't he?
Anyway, but get this. We'll get back to Dr. Vincent in a minute. But get this. This new treaty, folks, allows the UK to send 100 asylum seekers a year.
What's 200?
It was 200. And so now it's down to 100. And the UK government has to pay for their upkeep for 5 years. If they commit a criminal offence there, they can be shipped back to the UK. Mm-hmm. And of course, in the deal, the UK accepts Rwandan refugees.
Do you think they've specified what kind of criminal offence? Is it a parking ticket?
Oh, they're civil offences, David.
Right, okay. So would it be stealing a packet of Parliaments or newsagents?
Loaf of bread because you're hungry.
Yeah. Okay. I think these sort of things have got to be specified, don't they? They need to be written down. They need to be agreed. There needs to be some kind. Well, what do you mean by a criminal offence? What are you actually talking about here? Yeah.
Aye. And I see somebody's asking about
I think it's got to be seen through the eyes of the country where the people are, not from UK police point of view. We're talking about from the police in Rwanda's point of view.
aye.
How they deal. I mean, for example, if somebody smokes a spliff, maybe they've got maybe it's a hanging offence for smoking a spliff. Yeah, you don't know. Or what about somebody that's blooming gay? Are they in trouble in Rwanda? What's the score there? Don't know.
Well, aye. There'll be shipping gay people to Rwanda. That wouldn't be a great idea.
Well, you don't know. I mean, what's the law regarding gay people in Rwanda?
It's illegal to be gay in Rwanda, I believe.
Right. Well, if that's the case, what about somebody gets shipped across there that hasn't come out as gay?
Most of the people who arrive here from Rwanda are escaping persecution, I think, for being gay.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So,
but
bad situation, isn't it? But the most important thing is we have a war happening in Rwanda, and it's creating millions of refugees. Millions. It's saying France 24. U.S. Blinken urges calm as fighting displaces millions.
Aye, for the Republic of Congo, anti-Rwanda, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's all because there's a proxy war going on between two other African states, and Rwanda's the one that's stirring the pot.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, as I say, Dr. Vincent Barutu, when asked about the new treaty, said, "Oh, it's a great deal for Rwanda. Not much in it for the UK." Because you've got to remember, this isn't just party. Involved in this is also an economic development package for Rwanda through the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Aid. We're talking about aid.
What, 10 quid out the envelope? Yeah, 10 quid there. That's for your economic
and this is including the 140 million.
Right.
This is part of an economic and development cooperation pact that goes along with this treaty. So there'll be a much larger cost to the public purse, but I'm no against a positive influence when it comes to economic development. But we know the UK has never had a positive influence when it comes to economic development. In fact, they use international aid, our money, to bribe regimes to give them better tariffs when it comes to buying goods from those particular agricultural and mineral-rich countries.
I believe on this one, Joe Toole that came on my timeline today, and he said that Sunak exploded. I agree with him. I think this is going to take Sunak down all the way, believe it or not.
Could be. Yeah. Anyway, guess who's come out in favour of the Rwanda deal?
Go on then.
Me, Dougie Ross, of course.
You do surprise me.
The man who believed the liar, the man who supported the lettuce, the man who now worships the ground that the wee man, Rishi Sunak, walks on. But, I mean, this is a guy that wanted us to follow the same economic suicide as Liz Truss. And he believed Boris Johnson when he said there was no parties, you know. Absolutely nuts. But as I say, the Rwanda thing, it's just really, it's further stoking the culture wars, isn't it? Foreign or bad. You know, this is little England imploding in itself. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful with the people. It's the political classes that are imploding on themselves here.
Hey, Rwanda, it's like there is actually a film called Hotel Rwanda. Go watch it. It'll blooming open your eyes, and it's a factual story that's told. And you, oh my goodness me, that's dreadful. It's Rwanda, you know.
Aye, as I say,
We can't send refugees there.
David, this isn't a serious policy at all.
Yeah.
This is just stoking culture wars because the Tories kept getting nothing to fight the next election on.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolute madness and mayhem. And it's costing the public purse. There's no surprise there, though.
Can I just say to anybody in England that's watching this, right, and you go to a Tory, you know, the meetings they have, you know, what they call it again, David, where they've got, it's the, you meet your next MP or whatever, right, before the general election. Things, that's it. Just make sure you stand up and laugh your fucking head off at them, at the Tories, for bringing this through. Rishi Sunak should be blooming happy slap out of number 10. Seriously.
But let's get to what it's really about. I mean, apart from it being, it's an attack on the judiciary.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's an attack on the rule of law. What we're seeing is some overprivileged little kids stamping their feet and saying, oh no, I said this is going to happen, so it's going to happen.
That's good.
I mean, that's what, I mean, let's face it, what Daily was, he calls him our prime minister. That's basically what he did. The Supreme Court said no, and he stamped his wee foot and said, I said bloody aye. And he's come up with this magical piece of paper to make all of a sudden anywhere safe. Better ask him what the fucking spell was so we can sort the rest of the planet out.
You've got to ask yourself, where are these blooming stupid twats getting their fucking ideas from? It just so happens that the Israeli government are blooming stomped all over the judiciary just last week. Wow. Wow.
What's interesting about that is, see this Rwanda thing? It hasn't been very successful because it was a copy and paste of the Israeli deal. They sent fucking thousands. The UK gets to send 100.
That's right.
You know.
But
what this is just a bunch of overprivileged right-wing stuffed shirts throwing their toys at the pram because the law says no, you can't.
Mark Williamson says, I think we're destined for a third world war.
This one really annoys me because it's just the pure, it's just pure, it's another fucking dead cat on the table on a massive scale. And all the right-wing nutters doing that road are fond for it. Yeah. And then we find out half the overprivileged twats in stuffed shirts in the Commons are all racist bastards. Yeah. They're wanting ghettoise parts of the UK so that the whites can trot about without having to look at colour faces. Guess what, you stupid fuckers? You colonise half the world, you can expect them to come home to marry.
Yep. Right, come on, we've done enough of that.
The British public become using that word fucking sorely.
Can I just draw your attention to the fucking clock at the bottom of the screen, right?
Aye.
All right.
Okay,
a really quick one. The SNP have put up a WhatsApp channel that you can go on. If you're a member, you will be receiving an email that all you do is click open the channel, and then that puts it onto your WhatsApp so that they can actually pass information to you about the campaign, which is something they should have had before. The idea of having a yes campaign, it needs to be the actual the governing party that puts this forward, right? So that's what we're going to get. We've got the SNP channel that's coming through and give us campaign information. Okay.
At the moment, it's went out to members, but it is going to the wider public. There's a reason why it's going to the wider public, and that is to provide news and rebuttal to claims in the mainstream media made about the party, SNP as a party, or about independence as a cause. Okay, It will also be used for party members to get campaign material, of course.
You want to click that up, David? That Lenny Hughes.
Aye. He's saying he wants us to do a special on Bodo's evidence to the virus inquiry.
Yeah.
Feed the poor.
Thanks, Lenny.
Right,
come on. We're going to skip on a few of them. Next in the news is the TV license is going to be increased by £10.50.
Hold on, mate. Tell me where to find this bloody app.
Right, go on then. I'd already told you.
Remember, you'll get it in your email.
That's what I said. Yep.
Right. If you remember the public gear a week or two and you'll be able to get it on, if you get into channels on WhatsApp, and you just be able to put in the SMP and you'll be able to access it as a member of the public. Okay, right, TV license. Let's
£10.50 per year. It's going up from 150. This is just a normal license. It doesn't matter if I'm not talking if you're 80 years or 75 years of age. We're talking about a normal license going from £159 up to £169.50. Right? Where BBC are going to find the extra £10.50 is worth of value added content, I really don't know, because as far as I can see, the blooming Doctor Who thing is a fucking joke.
Before we go any further on this one, somebody in the comment was asking how to make donations without buying a super chat because they couldn't either on Facebook. On the programme description on YouTube and on my Facebook link, it should tell you their bank account. Their bank account details are in the programme description on YouTube. If you're watching live, it should be on your screen. If you're
I could possibly do better on that.
I don't read the book, David.
I was just going to read out the numbers. That's all, so people can scribble them down.
Aye, okay then. Quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, while you're doing that, while you're looking at getting the number on that ready, I'll rattle on about the TV license. Right, apparently £10.50 is affordable in the cost of living crisis, but £15 wasn't it? So the government. Right, hurry up.
Here's the sort code.
Actually, just leave that at the end and give people a chance to get a bit of paper and pen, right?
Yeah, have a paper and pen handy for the end of the show. That's probably the best way. Right.
Aye. Anyway, back to the TV licence. The government had said last week, because the initial agreement was to be £15 with the government, but the Secretary of State for what is it? Super Chat, hold on, Davies. I didn't want to use WhatsApp. Boris Johnson told me it loses really important messages. We'll get there. So, come on.
Excellent.
Anyway, back to the licence. The government pledged last week not to allow it to go up by £15. It wasn't expensive, affordable. Anyway, the Culture Secretary, Lucy Fraser, is it? I mean, she promises BBC Radio 4 listeners it's not going up for that much. So it was agreed it will go up by £10.50. That's an absolute cracker. I've got a great idea, folks. Don't bother. Yeah. Just don't fucking pay it. For the bairns, thanks very much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, dollars. £5. Yeah, you're quite right. It's, to be honest with you, I really don't think they've got a leg to stand on when it comes to going to somebody's door and saying, "You're using your telly. You should be paying for the license," and you should say, "I'm not paying for that because," and then the answer is, "Come on, David, look at that."
I know I've just put me right out off my stride there. Thanks, Geordie. And the earlier one for 100 as well. These people have been hell of a generous. David and I will get work getting it out the door as it comes in. Right now, the licence thing. It's an absolute fucking stormer. Just don't pay it.
Yeah.
Just don't pay it.
Then
Mark Leslie's put their bank details up in the comments. But we'll read them out at the end. Anyway, as I say, she says 15 quid's too much. So put up with 10.50. Is it 10.50? No, too much. As I say, the answer's quite simple. David and I have been running a 10-year campaign, just no fucking pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the most successful campaigns we've ever been involved in here in Scotland, David. Especially the Facebook group pushed the
no,
to the, you know.
The reason why people can so easily do it is because you can turn around and go, well, sorry, I'm not paying you money for to feed me propaganda. I'm not a propaganda victim, you know. So,
right, we better move on. This next one's important.
Yep.
UK government, because the people were talking about it last and Monday in the comments, UK government to spy on benefit claimants' bank accounts.
Yep.
Now let me get through this, David, because it's quite technical. Right, UK government to change data protection and digital information bill to allow a mass surveillance of benefit claimants' bank accounts. Previously, the Department of Work and Pensions could access the bank information of those suspected of fraud while on benefits, or on benefits but suspected of benefit fraud. But the new legislation will allow them to spy en masse. Now, the other interesting thing about it is banks will be legally obliged to tell the Department of Work and Pensions if customers in receipt of benefits savings surpass the savings threshold. You know, I think the savings threshold is 16,000, David, but I could be wrong.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's 16,000. It's just it's a notional sum, right? I tell you what, if it was all Tories that they were looking at, the sum would be like 250,000, 300,000 before they got looked at, right? But because it's for normal people, it's like 16,000. No,
I can't remember if it was 16,000 or 6,000. I want to get that information correct.
Yeah.
So let's look it up.
Well, the idea is ask our viewers to look it up for you. They'll tell you.
Aye, 16,000.
Yeah.
16,000 or more savings, you won't be entitled to universal credit. If you and or a partner have any savings or capital between 6,000 and 16,000, the first 6,000 is ignored. The rest is treated as if it gives you a monthly income of £4.35 for each £250 or part of £250. So there you have it. We've got that information correct for you folks. Okay.
So what, £4 what?
As if you had an extra income of £4.95 a week, I believe.
£4.95. Call it a fiver for each 250, right? So we're talking about 10,000. So we're talking you've split that by 250. That gives you 40 lumps times 5. So that's like 200 quid.
Aye.
So what they're going to do is they're going to tax you. They're going to take 200 quid off you. Yes.
I could tell you. I'm not involved in it. Anyway, benefits. Here's another thing it'll allow the Department of Work and Pensions to do. It'll allow them to monitor your whereabouts.
Yes, absolutely.
It'll allow them to know if you've been overseas for more than the prescripted allowed time.
Yeah, because they'll be able to see when you went in the hole in the wall and took so many euros out, whatever, right? And or paid at a restaurant with your card or your phone. They'll see all that, right? And as far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous. And the other thing that got me was, and really got my heckles up, was the fact that pensions, state pension, doesn't matter what the rules are or what the government consider it as, if you've got a state pension, you've paid in to that all your working life so that you've got a state pension. It is not a fucking benefit. It never was a benefit. It never should be a benefit. A benefit is something that is given to you for nothing. State pension is not. State pension is not a benefit.
No, it definitely isn't. We all pay into the pot expecting to get a return.
That's right. If you don't have the number of credits that's required by the time you get to your pension, you're not getting all your pension. Simple as that.
You're not getting a full pension, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, the UK government claim that this landmark legislation will save it $300 million a year in fraud. How about we just chase tax avoiders? That's $120 billion a year.
I want to see Zahawi in a fucking dock of a courtroom and see him getting charged properly with a blooming tax evasion that he was involved in. He did a deal. He was once the blooming chancellor. He was once the chancellor of the Exchequer, and he managed to do a deal with his mates in the Treasury.
Now, we know you guys talk about this in Monday in the chat, and the reason why we weren't really talking about it on Monday was need a time to have a look at something like that. So you know the information that you're discussing and giving out's more or less accurate.
Yeah.
So as I say, in the new bill, now David, you were bringing up something earlier about personal data protection. Mine, was it the DPR or something like it's called?
The GPRS or something like that.
Aye.
But it came in whereby your data is yours. You're not supposed to be able to look into it. That includes the government departments. Seriously. So what we've got is we now have a UK government that are trying to bypass the judiciary, right? And also what they're doing is they're trying to overturn all your personal information so that they can do what they fucking like with it, right? GDPR. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Mark Telfer, right?
Thanks.
They're overturning that so that they can look into all your personal details. As far as I'm concerned, the old English saying, a man's house, a man's home is his castle, and that goes for his personal data as well. End of story, right?
Anyway, what's interesting about it is that this takes us back to the first thing we were talking about. The GDPR thing.
Yeah.
That's to protect personal information, including Mr. Hamilton's. That was the point the Scottish Government was making.
That's right. Yeah. But don't go over that one again because as they were off on us, I could see Zeds on the feed.
You know, that was probably true. The Supreme Court probably did look into your funding to see if you get enough to bring the bloody case.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just another intrusion on your right to privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, this digital protection and a digital information bill has gone a wee bit too far.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, Evelyn Hume has just put up, and they've just sold off the data of the English NHS for the United States, and that I know is true. I've seen that in umpteen places. You couldn't make it up, honestly. These people.
I was talking about this a couple of years back to my truck. What's the name of that? Palantir is the name of the data system it's been sold to.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. E. Thank you.
Anybody getting benefits better get a Cayman bank account.
I'll tell you what. Let's actually go out and find out what the score is. I've got an accountant. I should be able to actually say to him, can you tell me what the score is with the Cayman Islands and how we set up an account there? Because if we can set up one account, we can set up dozens of accounts, right? Or hundreds of accounts. Let's all do that. Let's open up a British Virgin Islands account or a Cayman Islands account or whatever, right? And let's just, any money that we've got, just send it across there.
Right, we better move on, David.
Yep.
Next one up is a Bojo and the COVID inquiry.
Oh.
Now, apart from his spurky smiles and his stupid kid knowing he was in front of the headmaster stuff, the interesting thing was the period of between March and June 2020, when apparently 5,000 WhatsApp messages disappeared from his phone.
Yeah.
Now, when challenged on this, he said the technical team, he gave the phone to say there was something to do with an update to WhatsApp and a factory reset on his phone. When he was asked about these things, Bojo he put on a blank face as if to say, what's a factory reset? What's a WhatsApp update? You know, he played stupid. Now, the thing about that is they're the crucial months. You know, I will get that in a minute, David. They're the crucial months. They're the months when all the big decisions were being made. We also learned the Sage was cut out of most of these decisions, and that Bojo didn't read any of the Sage reports that were put in front of him. Well, we'll get this sort of chat up. And Labour will continue austerity with the same excuse, the same one the Tories used with that infamous note on the desk. There's no money left. We've been leaving that note for 30 years. That's no. I mean, everybody thinks because it went into the press when Gordon Brown left office, administrations have been leaving that note for the last 30 years, apparently. Since Maggie left office, I think it was.
Yeah. That's right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the COVID inquiry, I mean, these 5,000 WhatsApp messages are absolutely vital. Now, why did he act stupid? Because acting stupid would be better than admitting that he knew what happened to them, or where they were.
It's part of his his method. Boris Johnson is a method. He makes himself out to be a clown, and people accept that and call him a clown. He goes, well, so what? You know.
That face he was trying to put on yesterday, that contrite face you put on when you got doing something naughty and you're up in front of the headmaster. You know, that sort of thing makes me sick. I'm going to put this up now because this is.
And then when he left the headmaster's office, he puts on his hat. What's on his hat? Let's have a look at that. If you can't read that, people, what it says is GTFC. Now, in actual fact, it could be Grimsby Town Football Club. But I think Boris Johnson, who has no connection to Grimsby or Grimsby Town Football Club, in actual fact is giving a wee message out. And that was him leaving day one of the COVID inquiry.
Aye, get to fuck.
So get to fuck, you clowns, or whatever, right?
Aye.
You pick up what you want with the C, right? It could be see you next Tuesday or whatever, right? Okay. But definitely is get to fuck is the first three letters. All right. So there you go. There's what Boris Johnson thinks of all of you.
Well, that's what it was. It was a get to fuck the C word.
Yeah.
I can't see that on the license.
Yeah.
Anyway, the inquiry also said that we didn't do a very good job up here. But one thing we did, the Scottish government did a better job with, and that was being in front of the public and being accountable to the public.
Yeah. Yeah. We at least attempted to do it the right way. And it doesn't matter whether you think of Nicola Sturgeon or not, it's that she at least attempted to do it the right way. Whereas Boris Johnson et al., it was just a chaotic mess.
Anyway, we'll quickly barter through this one. MPs warned of a Russian interference or influence via cyber organisation. Apparently, formed office Minister Lee Doherty tells the House of Commons that cyber influence group Star Blizzard, which probably is part of the FSB, Russian cyber security unit, or is sponsored by them, definitely actually. Anyway, they're saying that since 2015, this mob have been on a fishing expedition and have managed to get access to cross-party MPs, UK institutions, and a vital UK infrastructure via their cyber systems. Right.
Thanks, Mr. E. It's not too bad.
Thanks, Mr. E.
Yeah.
And now what we're getting in the press today, David, I don't know if you've heard this, but what we're getting is that Russia's now in a position to shut the UK down. Turn off the internet.
If any of you watch the Die Hard movies, Die Hard 4 had the storyline where the IT experts talked about a fire sale. That's a fire sale. Fire sale is where you can switch off all the power stations, you can switch off the water, all the traffic lights, air traffic control, you name it, right? And it's a complete, there you go, it's a fire sale, right?
Well, anyway, that's what's being claimed by Russia today, that they have now got so much information on institutions and infrastructure in the UK that you could just flick a switch and turn it off.
It's not as straightforward as was made out in the movie, right? In the movie, they made it whereby somebody got inside and managed to form software that allowed back doors that allowed them to switch off things, right?
Well, that's what Russia's claiming.
Yeah, but if you're an engineer dealing with that, you take things like that into account. What if somebody hacks this? Do we have an ability to take back control? Yes, they do, and you'll find that many of the systems that are used
fail safe.
Yeah, but we had a situation, if you remember, where air traffic control went down for how long was it? A day.
Aye.
It was a day, and everybody looked at it and went, "No, there's something a wee bit strange here," because you can't just.
At the same time, air traffic control went down. There's a lot of scandal with aviation companies, air passenger transport companies, British Airways, Air Lingus, that sort of thing, whose digital data of customer client registers have been hacked and put out in the internet.
Yeah.
That'll be this group that's doing this. This will be Russia flexing his muscles.
Maybe.
You know,
but what I do know is there's one particular obscure named think tank that has been put up by Sky News and telling us that it's been nobbled by this Russian group, and they're called the Institute for Statecraft. Now, never heard of them. Honestly, I've never heard of them, right? And they've taken all the content down. And Oliver Dowden was on the TV holding a press conference about it after Rishi Sunak had his woman dropped his lunch on the press conference, and he was Dowden was getting pretty angry about this, right? So I think in actual fact this is something that the Tory party are a bit angry about.
Aye.
Possible. It's because it's their think tank that has been blooming nobbled.
No, we're on the hour mark, Dave. We've still got a couple of subjects here, so we'll just say congratulations to John Swinney and being made an honorary professor at Glasgow University. And then we'll move on to the Israel-Hamas war, as they're calling it.
Yeah, well, we've got the story about the blockade that's taking place of BAE Systems in Govan.
Aye.
To stop them from producing weapons. Well, the weapons that they produce are Type 45, Type 46 destroyers, right?
Aye.
So how they're going to stop that, I really don't know. If it was bombs or tank rounds or whatever, I would imagine that would go out in a truck, and that would be easier to stop. But I don't.
The protest isn't really about stopping the ships being built. It's about trying to pressure on VEA systems to stop supplying Israel.
There's this kind of action going on in lots of areas around the world. You've heard about the Australians blocking a cargo ship, right? You've heard about the Houthis from Yemen firing rockets or missiles at a cargo ship just off of the Egyptian coastline, the Suez Canal. We've got the situation with Sweden. Sweden produce a lot of spare parts for the F-35 American fighters that the Israeli government use. And what they are doing is they're supplying the spare parts. These super planes, the super jets, they need a constant run of.
The F-35s, isn't it?
Yeah, they need
but
spare.
Remember, listen, this stuff works because look what happened at Rolls-Royce and East Kilbride against Finishie. Yeah. When they refused to fix the engines of Finishie's UK fighter plane.
That's right. Yep.
You know, so this works. It's the same as the barcode 729871. Don't buy. Public pressure works.
In America, you've even got the situation with Starbucks. There's great big protests taking place outside Starbucks. So what are the staff doing? The staff are coming out and actually joining the protest.
Listen to the action for Biden. Yep. He's wishing he hadn't stood in that stage with Netanyahu now. Right. There's huge pressure on Biden to draw this bomb plot in. Yep. And Biden himself has been sending his Foreign Secretary, Blinken, to tell them, stop targeting civilians and abide by international law. At this point in time, Netanyahu is giving the get it right up east.
Yeah,
somebody's going to have to stone in his neck.
Yeah, don't forget AIPAC, which is the Israeli lobby that takes place. The amount of money that's been passed to all these politicians in America is disgusting. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, I think she had 595,000 had been put into her account by the Israeli lobby in America. There are all kinds of situations where what was one of the ones? Is it something like an insurance? If you make an insurance claim on something, you have to actually sign to say that you will not talk against the Israeli government or whatever, right? And if you don't sign to say that, you don't get your blooming claim. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. It's so bad then that you would have no choice but to totally and utterly do the same as what we need to do, which is totally bin the whole lot, get every single one of the politicians out and replace them. Lock, stock and barrel.
That's what election.
It isn't. It isn't. You know fine well that elections can be controlled, they can be bought and all the rest of it, right?
I know.
Yeah.
So that's what they're supposed to be for.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, the humanitarian pause is out. We spoke about the protests in Glasgow, right, with that.
Yep.
Disgusting.
Yes.
Starmer. 3,000 people apparently have died so far since it started up again. You're trying to get us kicked off.
Yeah, if I'm guilty of something, I'm guilty of stopping watching. I get to a point where I'm on Al Jazeera, I'm watching it, and I have to come out. I have to stop watching.
Actually,
it's too much. It's far too much. You know, it's like.
There's a wee link on my Facebook profile at the moment. It was put up there by a friend of mine, and the image is covered, but when you uncover it, it's images of the people that were taking refuge in the UN school and the south of Gaza. They've been kicked out onto the streets by the Israelis apparently, and it's right next to a hospital, and the people who have been trying to flee the area and we get picked up with snipers. And the video is on my timeline, you know. But the pressure for the international community is now getting to the point where the only people who can pull these people in and yank the leash is the Americans. And it's getting to the point where they need to.
Well, I watched an interview. David, I watched an interview where the UN rapporteur for that area, right? Forget what her name was. It was a lady, and she explained she's an international lawyer. She's an international human rights lawyer, and what she said was, she said, if you're an occupying force, the right of defence ceases to be.
Correct. You're an occupier. Anyway, David.
All right.
I think that's it for the day.
Yeah.
Folks, we hope you found it interesting. We hope you found it informative. We hope you get a couple of laughs. Hope you enjoyed the odd rant. I hope you liked the delivery. If you did, then please hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe. The more subscribers, the more likes, the better it is for the algorithm. And thanks very much today, folks, for your kind generosity. I mean, absolutely stunning generosity. I've already in contact with a couple of people who are involved in baby blanks, and still got another one to try and find, and then we'll get your money out the door within the next few days. Okay. The stuff obviously you're putting that you're giving us just now, we won't receive that to the end of December, but we'll get that out as quick as possible.
Right. Just quickly, pen and paper ready? Right, here it is. The sort code. Well, first off, it's the 2 Davies is the name of the account. The sort code is 821107. I'll repeat that, 821107. The bank account number is 6054 3718. I repeat, 6054 3718. I hope you got that, guys. What I'll do is I'll also put it on my own timeline. So if you go looking for David Milligan, you'll find it will be in there. One of the first posts. I'll put the sort code and the account number up. And that's Davey tying his shoelaces to go and take the dog for a walk and get mauled to death with a cat. So it's now up to me.
It's ready for work, David. That's why the jacket's behind me.
Right. Anyway,
thanks very much. If you like, we're back on Monday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
David, that's something we need to sit down and discuss, and that is when we're knocking this in the head for the Christmas period.
Yeah.
Obviously.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So next Thursday, the last 2 weeks and Thursday, the last show until after the festive period, apart from my show on Christmas Day. Okay, and you know me, I can't stay away from it, so I'll probably jump in if something's annoying me. Right,
you're a junkie. You're a YouTube junkie, aren't you?
No. Just to broadcasting every day from my truck.
Right.
Anyway.
Anyway, bye guys. Bye, Davey.